I want to speak slowly, because my story was never meant to be rushed. I am a yellow cat with very thick, soft fur that once shined effortlessly. My eyes are green, calm on the surface, even when storms live behind them. People used to look at me and say I glowed. They thought glow meant happiness. They thought glow meant strength. I believed them. In the beginning, life felt gentle. I woke up with light inside my chest. I stretched my paws, breathed deeply, and trusted the day. I didn't question my worth. I didn't measure my value by how much I gave. I just existed, and that was enough. But slowly, without warning, that feeling began to change, not because of one big moment, not because of a disaster. It was the small things, saying yes when I was tired, smiling when my heart felt heavy, listening to everyone else while ignoring myself. I told myself it was temporary. I told myself I would rest later. I told myself strong cats don't stop. Days became full. Full became overwhelming. Overwhelming became normal. Pressure doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers softly and calls itself responsibility. Sometimes it feels like love, like being needed, like being important. And I accepted it all. I became the one who listens, the one who understands, the one who holds everything together. Inside, I was shrinking. I remember lying on the floor one evening, my thick yellow fur spread beneath me, my green eyes fixed on the ceiling. My body was still, but my mind would not rest. Thoughts raced, worries stacked. My chest felt tight for no clear reason. I felt tired in a way sleep could not fix. That should have been my warning. But I ignored it, because stopping felt like failing, and failing felt terrifying. So I kept going. My glow didn't disappear suddenly. It faded quietly, like light leaving a room when no one notices. I stopped playing without realizing it, stopped feeling curious, stopped feeling excited about tomorrow. I still smiled, but the smile felt practiced, empty. People still saw a beautiful yellow cat with thick fur and green eyes. They didn't see the weight I carried. They didn't see how heavy my heart had become. And I didn't tell them, because I didn't want to be a burden. I didn't want to disappoint. I didn't want to admit that I was tired of being strong. Weeks passed like this, then months. I lived on autopilot. Wake up, do what's expected, sleep, repeat. When I was alone, I felt invisible. Not because no one was around, but because no one truly saw me. I would look at my reflection and search for the glowing cat I used to be, the one who laughed easily, the one who trusted life, the one who believed she mattered. I missed her. Then one day, my body stopped before my mind could argue. I couldn't move. I couldn't pretend. I curled into myself, my thick fur wrapping around me like armor, my green eyes filled with tears I had been holding back for far too long. I wasn't dramatic. I wasn't loud. I was exhausted. For the first time, I allowed myself to feel everything I had been avoiding, the pressure, the loneliness, the quiet sadness. And in that stillness, a question appeared, soft but powerful. When did I stop caring for myself? That question stayed with me. It echoed in my silence. It followed me through slow mornings and heavy nights. And deep inside, I knew this was only the beginning. That question didn't leave me alone. It stayed with me when I woke up. It followed me when I tried to distract myself. It waited quietly when I pretended everything was fine. When did I stop caring for myself? I didn't have an answer at first. All I had was a deep tiredness I could no longer ignore. The days after that felt different. Slower, heavier, as if my body was forcing me to notice what my mind kept avoiding. I tried to go back to my old rhythm, to move fast, to smile automatically, to be useful. But something inside me resisted. My paws felt heavy. My chest felt tight. My thoughts felt louder when everything around me was quiet. For the first time, I realized something important. I wasn't lazy. I wasn't broken. I was overwhelmed. I had been carrying too much for too long. I started noticing how often I ignored my own needs, how easily I pushed my feelings aside, how quickly I judged myself for being tired. I would tell myself, others have it worse. You should be grateful. Just keep going. But my body didn't listen to those words anymore. It wanted rest. It wanted honesty. It wanted care. One morning, instead of rushing, I stopped. I sat in silence, my thick yellow fur warmed by soft sunlight. I closed my green eyes and breathed deeply. It felt strange, almost uncomfortable. Doing nothing felt wrong because I had been taught that rest must be earned. But I stayed, and in that quiet moment, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Relief. Not happiness. Not excitement. Just relief. I began to understand that my glow didn't disappear because I failed. It disappeared because I abandoned myself. That realization hurt, but it also freed me. I started with small changes. I rested without explaining myself. I said no when my chest felt tight. I allowed my emotions to exist without judging them. Some days I felt guilty. Some days I felt scared. Some days I wanted to go back to being the cat who never stopped. But I didn't, because that cat was exhausted. Healing wasn't beautiful. It wasn't linear. Some days I felt strong. Other days I felt like I was falling apart. But this time I didn't run from the feeling. I sat with it. I learned to listen to my body instead of fighting it. I learned that silence isn't empty, it's full of answers. I learned that slowing down doesn't mean giving up. Little by little, my world softened. I noticed how my breath became deeper, how my shoulders relaxed, how my thoughts became kinder. I spoke to myself differently. Not with pressure, not with blame, but with compassion. You're tired. That's okay. You don't have to prove anything today. Those words felt unfamiliar at first, but they slowly became comforting. I started reconnecting with small joys, the warmth of the sun, the sound of quiet, the feeling of being present instead of productive. And something inside me began to change, not loudly, not dramatically, but steadily. My green eyes no longer looked empty when I saw my reflection. They looked thoughtful, aware. I wasn't glowing yet, but I was no longer fading. I realized that healing doesn't begin when life becomes easier. It begins when you decide to stop hurting yourself. I stopped shrinking, stopped apologizing for resting, stopped measuring my worth by how much I gave. For the first time in a long while, I felt grounded. I felt real. And deep inside, beneath the tiredness and the healing, I sensed something familiar. A quiet light, not shining yet, but alive. Waiting. The quiet light I felt inside me started to grow, not suddenly, not like a switch turning on, but gently, steadily, like the first rays of dawn creeping over the horizon. I began noticing the small things again, the way sunlight hit my thick yellow fur, the way my green eyes sparkled when I stretched in the morning, the way the wind whispered softly through the trees. I laughed again, quietly at first, then more freely. I realized I had forgotten how good it felt to laugh without reason. I moved differently too. Not fast and hurried like before, but with purpose, with awareness, with care for myself. Every step I took reminded me that I was alive, not just existing, but truly living. I started reconnecting with others too, not to please them, not to prove myself, but because my heart finally had space to give freely again. And the most important thing, I finally looked at myself with compassion. I looked at my thick yellow fur and thought, you are beautiful just as you are. I looked into my green eyes and whispered, you are enough, you always were. And slowly my glow returned, not the same as before, stronger, because this time it came from within, protected, nurtured, earned. I learned that glow isn't about what others see, it's about what you feel inside. It's about taking care of yourself. It's about listening to your heart and honoring it. Some days are still hard. Some days the weight of the world makes me pause. But now I know what to do. I breathe and I rest. I care for myself. And my glow never fades for long. I am a yellow cat, my fur thick and soft, my green eyes awake and alive. I know my worth now, and I don't give it away carelessly. If you are listening to me, if you feel lost, dim, or exhausted, I want you to know one thing: your glow is still inside you. It never left. It just waits for you to come back to yourself. Rest, listen, be kind to yourself. And when you do, you will shine again, stronger, brighter, truer than ever. My glow returned because I learned to love myself, because I learned to pause, because I learned that being kind to myself is not selfish but necessary. Now, when I look in the mirror, I see a yellow cat with thick fur, soft and full of life. My green eyes sparkle with curiosity, with hope, with courage. And every day, I remind myself, I am enough, I am strong, I am glowing.